Hey everybody, today I am working on my 2006 Mercury 115 horsepower 4-stroke motor, and today I am going to be changing out spark plugs. Last time that the plugs were changed on this motor was in 2015, and it's now, or 20, actually it's 2012, and now it's 2025, and so yeah, time to get it done. So yeah, so I'm all over it today. So first thing that we're going to do is we have to flip the handles to open up the cover. First one is right here. Then the second one is over here on the back. Once you have those loosened up, grab it at the handle at the top and you lift up the back first, and then you need two hands to lift the whole thing up and over. Make sure that you can get up nice and tall, because you're going to have to pick up the cover probably about another 3 feet from where it's sitting. All right, see you on the next one. Okay, so I just lifted the cover off, and this right here is how I have it sitting, and then your 4 spark plugs behind ignition coil number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Okay, now in order to take these off, you have 2 pieces. You have to take the coil off. You have this bolt right here. Now it looks to be about maybe a 10 millimeter. Not sure. I'll know in a second. And then also this little piece right here, this wiring harness, this needs to come off. I'm not sure how yet, but I'm sure once I unscrew this, the whole piece will slide right off. And then after it's sliding off, I'll show you getting the wire assembling off. Okay, here we go. There they are, the 4 bolts that came out of holding on to these little coil packs. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the size on that, I used, where's it, right over in here, 8 millimeter. So it was an 8 millimeter, not a 10, as I was guessing, but you know how that goes. You never guess right the first time on these things. And so anyway, yeah, and I also used a longer extension, so that way as I'm spinning the bolt out by fingers, you got plenty to hold on to. You're not sitting there holding on to little things, because if you drop your bolt, it's going down in there, and then yeah, good luck getting that out. So anyway, so that's that part there. Now I went over and I took a flashlight, because yeah, eyeballs aren't the greatest in the world. And this piece right here, we're going to push this down, squeeze it with your finger, and that looks to be how this will come off. I'm going to do it with 2 hands, so that way I'm not forcing it too crazy. Let's see. Yeah, you can see it loosening. Oh, there we go. There we go. So that's it. That little thumb piece right here, push down on it, and that piece slides off. And then this right here comes straight out, and inside there, somewhere in there, is your spark plug. And so let me get after that. All right, here we go. All right, here is the first spark plug that I took out. This is on the top cylinder. Doing the top cylinder first. And here is, yeah, here's what it looks like. It's tan, a little dirty, but doesn't look too terrible. And so anyway, here's another 16 millimeter socket, deep well. That's what I used to take it out. Fits right in, has good grip, very little play in it, so that is the right size to use on that. And again, use the long extension, so that way when you're spinning it out with fingers, and when you're starting it in with fingers, you're able to kind of feel what's going on at the end of it. You have plenty of room for big clumsy fingers. And so yeah, so that will be that. Now for what was taken out of this motor, was NGKR LFR4A-E. I had no idea what was in there from before, but I went by the spark plug information that's down here on my motor, and that is NGK right down there at the bottom, right about there. Yeah, that right there is the information that I used to get the new spark plugs. And so here it is, and lo and behold, it's the exact same thing, except one shinier. I'm gonna go find my disc for measuring the gap. The gap on that is supposed to be 0.08 inches, I believe it is. I'll double check it. And yeah, so let me go over it, double check the gap on it. I am going to use some anti-seize on it. A little bit of controversy, a little contradiction on the in the manual. It says that if you're using the motor in fresh water, that you do not need to use anti-seize, and that using it with fresh water may damage something. I don't know. But if you're in salt water, go ahead and use it. And so since I am mostly in salt water and every once in a while in fresh, yeah, I'm going to use it. I've never, I don't know, I've had more things stuck on than accidentally slide off. So yeah, going with the anti-seize. All right, so let me go get my disc and get the gap taken care of. All right, so I am checking the gap on the spark plugs, and I know that I said, was it 0.08 for the gap? No, it's 0.8 millimeters for the gap, or it's 0.032. That's why you double check everything a million times. All right, so there's the gap size on that, and here's something for everybody out there on YouTube land. This coin, I have bought and have changed about 30 sets of spark plugs over the years. And every time I go to purchase spark plugs, I always buy a new coin because I can never find it. And this is the first time ever I have actually found one of the old coins to use to check the gap. So, hey, maybe it's shining up to be a good day. So anyway, 0.032 or 0.8 millimeters, that is what we are going to be gapping all the new plugs at. And what little interesting bit here is that this ring on here, it is designed to hook onto that little leg, the electrode part of it. And you're able to pry it wider or closer with a little lip on that ring, and it doesn't put any pressure on the bottom of the spark plug. And so, yeah, outside of that, I don't know a dang thing about gapping them, except they need to be done. So anyway, see you in a minute. Okay, I just finished adjusting the gap on the new spark plugs. Every single new spark plug was gapped from the factory at 0.025. So every one of them needed to be opened up just very, very slightly. And so anyway, so now does it make much of a difference? The difference between the two? No idea. But you know what? We start off trying to make everything perfect, and then then if there's another problem and doesn't work out that way, it is what it is. But at least we know that the gap on the new spark plugs is exactly what it's supposed to be. All right, time for me to put a little anti-seize on them. Just going to put a tiny bit right across, right at the threads here, and then and I'll wipe it in, just a little bit going across with my fingers, because as you thread it in, it'll work its way around in the whole bit. And then when we when I actually tighten them down, the foot-pounds on it, according to Mercury, is 18 foot-pounds of pressure. And so I will be using my torque wrench and, torquing them down properly, so that way we're good. Anyway, time to change these in. Okay, I have it all pulled back together. We have these right here are just little rubber pieces that just slide off of a nub. You push them that way, and those will slide right off, so that way the wires aren't attached. But you know what? It's kind of nice. They hold them there, so that way when you do unplug them, they don't go tumbling down in the whole bit. And so there's that. Those are all tightened up. Like I said, all the spark plugs are tightened up to 18 foot-pounds. Also, there is I put a little drop of anti-seize on the threads and the whole bit, so that way those don't get too stuck. And then these right here, I don't know. I didn't use a torque wrench on them. I just snugged, made them snug, and then gave them another quarter turn. There's anti-seize on those as well. And so there is that. Also, I did check all of my old spark plugs, and all of the old spark plugs are gapped at 0.02526. None of them even made it to 0.03. And so all of them were right around 0.025. And so, so the gap was a little bit tight. And did they use a torque wrench on them? When they put them on, I don't think so. They were pretty cranked on tight. Certainly took a lot more to take them off than what you would like to do. But they're off, they're changed, they're cleaned up, and I did check that all of them have like the little washer piece on the end. Nothing got stuck in there or what have you. So yeah. So now ease of the job is like I don't know, 1 out of 4. Pretty easy. And also the total tools that you need for at least this application. Of course, the gap ring that I'm sure you cannot find in your toolbox, and you'll have to go buy it for the 33rd time. Also, I used my children's size ratchet, children's size 6-inch extension with the 8mm socket on it, and then just use my regular standard ratchet with a 6-inch extension. What did I say? The 16mm socket. Is that what we said it was? Yeah, 16mm socket. There it is on there, and then torque wrench. Tighten them down to 18 foot-pounds. And that is this job. Guys, you have no excuse not to do this. And at the end of the year, when you're fogging everything, if you want to fog inside the cylinders, it would be pretty easy to do. So anyway, there you go. Any questions? I'll ask somebody else, because I gave you everything that I know. All right, good luck. See you.